Hey, fourth graders, this is chapter 13, lesson 4, and your target for today is I can find the area of rectangles and squares. And I know I've got it when I score a 4 or a 5 on the quick check. If you're not scoring a 4 or a 5, you need to rewatch this videos, watch one of the extra videos that we post, or come to office hours and ask some questions, okay? So let's think really quick. There are a couple different ways that you can find the area of something, right? And we know that area is the number of square units that are needed to cover a region or figure without overlap. So if I had something and I could take a whole bunch of little tiny squares and cover up this sandbox, if I had each square 1 foot by 1 foot, I could do that. But man, that would be a pain. Let's not. We know that there's a much better way to do that. So, here, let's do it the better way, the easier way. We are going to multiply. So, the Perez family wants to put the sandbox shown in their backyard. Lucky them. What is the area of the sandbox? Okay, so we know we could just count all those unit squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's just no. You can do better than that. Don't waste your time. Let's do it the other way. The other way is to multiply. So if it is 10 across and 5 down, this is an array, right? We already have used area model when we're doing multiplication. Do you remember us talking about that? It's like when we had 10 plus 2 times 5. We did something like that. You know how to do that. You take the 5 times 10 and put it here, and the 2 times 5 and put it here. You guys know how to do area model. So right now it is length times width. The length of this, it is 10 feet long. And how wide is it? 5 feet wide. So you multiply the length times the width. That's the formula. L times W, 10 times 5 is 50. And if you were going to count these, please don't. That's a waste of your time and mine. You'd find 50 squares. There are 50 square units, unit squares. So there are 50 square feet. So the sandbox is 50 feet squared. That's how you'd write that. Okay? So remember, a rectangle. The area, A, is length times width. Right? One side times its opposing side. I don't say length times length or width times width. Those are the opposite ones. We want the ones across the corner. Length times width. Okay, so your target was I can find the area of rectangles and squares. So we talked about rectangles. Let's talk about squares. Squares, all 4 sides are the same, right? That's what a square means. So when we do length times width, it's just side times side because all the sides are the same. So the area is side times side. So here, for a square, the area and measure of one side of the square is given. Find the measure of the missing side. So a square, if one side is 8, what's the other side? It's going to be 8, right? This one's going to be 8, and this one's going to be 8, and this one's going to be 8. And we know that the area works out because the area of a square is side times side, and that would be 8 times 8, and that definitely equals 64. Yeah? So 8 times what number equals 64? 8. We already know that because we know what a square is. So the missing side is 8 meters. Okay, I think you guys can handle this one. I'm going to have you pause for a second, do both of these problems, and then unfreeze when you're ready. Okay, find the area of each square or rectangle. I'm going to measure what is the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. And what's the width? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. All right, 4 times 8. Could you have also said 8 times 4? Yeah, we know commutative property of multiplication says you can multiply either way. But so either way, it is 32 square units. Okay, area of a square. The area of a square is side times side, and that is 3 times 3, so it is 9 yards squared, or 9 square yards. Next. Okay, I'm going to have you do these 4 problems. Press pause and solve them on your own. Go. Okay, this one. Area of a square is side times side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4 is 16 square units. Number 4. I have over here 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 times 10 is 20. So 20 square units. How are you doing so far? Next one, rectangle. Length times width. 6 times 2 is 12 meters squared. Okay. Length times width. 10 times 2 or 2 times 10. Either way, both work. 10 times 2 is 20 yards squared. Those units, this is yards, but this one's meters. That matters. That makes a big difference. 20 square yards is way different than 20 square meters. We know that because we were just talking about metric and customary the last chapters. Okay, let's do these 4, and then I'm going to let you go ahead and work on your check. This one, let's read the directions. The area and the measure of one side of each square or rectangle are given, okay? So we know the area and how long one side is. The measure, what does this side measure? It measures 7 inches. Then we need to label the missing sides. We're going to need to find all the other side lengths, okay? So if the area here is 49, and we know it is 7 times something equals 49, 7 times what equals 49? That would be 7, okay? Are we done? No, because that's not what they were asking. What they're asking us to do is label the missing sides. So we have 7 inches, and 7 inches, and 7 inches. And if all those sides are the same, what is it? It's a square, right? Okay. Number 8. So we have 32 is the area, and 4 is one side. So we know 4 times something equals 32. 4 times what equals 32? That is 8. So 4, the next side is 8 meters. And over here is going to be 4 meters, right? Because those opposite sides are the same. And opposite sides are the same. So this one's also 8 meters. Okay. I am going to have you pause and try and figure out 9 and 10 on your own. And then you can unpause and check your work when you're done. Okay. If we have a 1 and it's 5 square centimeters, 1 times something equals 5. Well, we know that. Identity property of multiplication, 1 times itself. 5 times 1 equals 5, right? So this is 5 centimeters, 1 centimeter, 5 centimeters. Yeah? Okay. This one. 6 inches on one side, 24 is the area. 6 times something equals 24 for the area because length times width equals area. So 6 times what equals 24? That would be 4. So we have 4 inches. I hope you're writing your units when you do this. 4 inches and 6 inches. All right, go ahead and do your quick check.